right, if you've watched any videos in the past, I've talked about what I think is the power of the pyramid practice method. So if I try to apply that right now to 5 clubs, which I shall attempt to do, I think you will be more satisfied as you try to learn 5 clubs, and I think you'll see perhaps more progress in shorter order. There are some groups that say that what you should do is do 5 clubs, do the initial flash, do that 10 times, and then go for 6. Or whatever, I just did 7 there. Do the 6 10 times, and then do 7. And then just keep building like that, one throw by one throw by one throw, until you can do 1,000,000 of them. I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. On the other hand, I personally find it to be an incredibly boring way to practice. I know that it builds great fundamentals, and I think that the way I'm going to show you can build just as strong fundamentals without actually making you feel like you never get a chance to feel like you're doing something cool, like actually try to run the pattern. Here's what the pyramid practice schedule is going to look like. I'm going to do, initially, because I'm a beginner, I'm going to do 10 sets of the 5 club flash. When I've done that, I'm then going to do 4 or 5 sets of, say, 7 or 8 throws. When I've done that, I'm going to end for the day, for this practice session, with 1 longer run of, say, 10 throws, or maybe 8 or 9 throws. That'll be up to you to judge. And the key is to watch what happens to you and your throws as you do each set. So you move from one level to the next. Watch what happens as you do that. All right, so I'll start off. In order to do 10 flashes, I of course need to make sure that I remember what I learned from those 4 club drills. In order to help me mark my progress on that as I do the first 10 flashes, I'm going to freeze at the end of each. I'm going to freeze in the position I had as I caught them. And that will help me know where I was. I'll demonstrate. Okay, the left hand right now is a tad further out from me than I would like it to be. It's probably about 6 inches. On the other hand, they're roughly at the same height. I would prefer that my flash end here. So that's just something good to know. I'll try it again. I've got 9 left to go. Okay, again, not great because I had to actually lean forward a bit now. And I notice also that the left hand feels like it's lower. I would have preferred this ending. Okay, so that's why I'm doing it 10 times though. That felt good. That was 3. That was 4. First note felt a little high and back for me, so I'll try to remember that. 5, that felt pretty good to me. 6, felt pretty solid. 7. Now I notice here, you can't probably see it, but I caught this club a little further in my hand than I really wanted to. That's not the end of the world, but it's something I want to try to remember. Ready to go? Go for 8. That felt good. Okay, I noticed on that one I had to actually move my body. That tells me that my right hand throw went up in the middle a little more than I wanted it to, as opposed to across. That's key. Because when I'm in the middle, I had to shift my body, and therefore my left hand throw, in order to make the pattern land where I wanted it to. So that was 9. Here's the last one. And that was pretty good. Okay, there. Just in the process of doing those 10 flashes, I've gotten my muscle memory going. I've got a pretty decent idea of what I want to try to keep in mind as I move on to more throws. All right, as I move on to the next level of the pyramid, there are some new things I want to try to keep in mind and some new suggestions that I'll give you. The flash that we just did, of course, is utterly essential. But now that you're going to try to run a few more, I would suggest a couple of things. 1, try knocking your gaze back, or rather up even, a few more inches than you think you need to. When you do that, you'll be amazed, it's kind of freaky even, but your pattern, your throws, will rise up to meet that. I mean, you can do a flash pretty low. You know, but you're not going to be able to run a pattern that way. So, for the second level of the pyramid, I'm going to actually, and from now on, I'm going to try to knock my gaze back, my head back, and my gaze up a little bit more, And I'm going to look for real good symmetry. I'm going to look for right hand throws that are going to the left to top out consistently. I want them to land in my hand on the left-hand side of my body. I want them to land about, for me, what's comfortable is 3 or 4 inches above my waist. I want to make sure that as I throw from the left, I throw, it crosses that midpoint line, and it also tops out over on the right-hand side at the same height that the right-hand throw did when it went to the left. And as it lands, I want it to land in my hand at roughly, again, 3 or 4 inches above my waist. In order to do that, you're going to have patience and just kind of work with it. So I'm going to try to do 5 sets now of, say, 7 or 8 throws. And again, I will pay attention to what happens as I do that. Okay, the height of that looked pretty good to me, but it felt like I was a little too far to the right. That one felt pretty good. Okay, the left hand's a little high. That felt pretty good. That felt pretty good. I'll do that one just for the sake of, again, that muscle memory. Okay, that felt pretty good. That last one felt a little low. I would have liked to have got it a little bit higher. All right, I got the first level done. I got the second level done, and now I'm going to end with a longer run of the 5. The power in doing this is you're still working on nice, consistent throws, but you are also having a chance to see what it's like to finish the pattern after a run. And my experience has been when you try to do a pattern as you're learning it, almost always, at least I tend to mess up the trick at the very beginning or at the very end. So the power of doing this last set of throws is that I get a chance to see what it feels like when I'm trying to bring together or finish up a longer run. So as a beginner, again, what I'm going to do now is instead of sets of 7 that I just did before, 7 throws, I'm now going to go for maybe a final run of 9 or 10. At this point, in order for you to keep growing as a 5-club juggler, the only thing I would say is consistency of practice is going to be important. When you are comfortable and you can do that first pyramid session that I just described pretty easily, then what you want to do is keep building. So that instead of having just the flash be done 10 times in a row, you move on to, say, now doing 7 or 8 throws as the basic level of the pyramid. Which means then that the second level would be more like, say, 10 throws. You do that 4 or 5 times. And then the last set would be maybe 15, 16, 17 throws. How many throws you do for each set is dependent upon how comfortable you're getting with the pattern. And it also depends on how much control you have over those throws. If you can pull off, say, 10 sets of 10 throws, but they feel real raggedy, then I would drop back to doing 7 throws 10 times in a row. For me nowadays, a good sort of set range is I try to do 25 throws 10 times in a row, and then I'll maybe go for an intermediate set of, say, 50, and then I might end with 100. And as you get better and better and better, you may decide that you don't even need to worry about that and you can start drilling tricks and that kind of stuff. It's entirely up to your personality. It's entirely up to what makes you feel energized to get out there and practice every day. 5 clubs is not something you're going to get in just a week of solid practice. At least that's not been my experience, and I don't know too many people that have had that experience. To really master 5 clubs, I think you'll be working at it for a long time. And that's what makes it both exciting and, quite honestly, frustrating. Hang in there, and I wish you, of course, all the best of luck. Thanks, guys.